Okay, we're going to start with the nation. One party controversy, Ganduje, Damagum, Gabam all clash. Alake seeks sustainable energy transition. Antelope runs into plane at Asaba Airport. Rivers, PDP governors are busybodies, federal government tells Supreme Court. Which story are we starting with?
The bush meat now.
Oh, excuse me.
Antelopes. Endangered species. Oh, that was
antelope endangered. Yes, now Nigeria we do. Antelope endangered.
And you chop and finish.
Okay, then well. APC plane ran into a large, according to them, they shall emphasize large. The spokesperson of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, Michael Achimogu, had posted on X that this very large antelope go run into the plane. And so the plane had to be stopped on Saturday.
Wow,
it couldn't go, and yes, it damaged the plane. So they had to stop the plane, the airline. He was now, using it to describe what he says, some on mechanical faults that can ground an airline. He said monitoring reports yesterday indicated that an Air Peace aircraft ran into a large antelope, decimating the animal and leaving the aircraft on ground. As a result, flights meant to be operated by this aircraft would naturally be disrupted, even though engineers are on ground to access and fix the plane. Passengers waiting would naturally be infuriated. And he says this does not excuse the rights that passengers have if their flights are cancelled or delayed by airlines, and the entitlements that they're supposed to get as a result of it. But he was just emphasizing that some of these things are not as a result of a bad airline or bad management of airline, but then experts are faulting the managers of the airport over the incident, and I expect that, of course, the area of the runway should have some fence and cordon off.
Where antelope they come from?
Bush
the bush now in the airport. Now, as I say bush meat, it's not the bush meat. You see people that inform me first that antelope are in danger for Africa.
Yes, in danger, and you chop and finish.
For Nigeria.
Okay. Yes. Another, so let me take the major headline. So this one-party state controversy is gaining a bit of ground when we recall the tsunami that happened in Delta State. So since then, there have been quite a lot of people who are opposing the main party for trying to woo others to cause a one-party state in the country. Now, I must quote specifically what the APC chairman said, because it's quite interesting. The APC National Chairman, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, chided those accusing the ruling party of plotting to push the country into a one-party system. He said, a one-party state is not by force, it's by negotiation. It's because other political parties see the effectiveness of the positive and the governance of our party. If they decide to come to our party willingly, I think there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, that still sounded okay. Until, he said, today, democratic China is one of the strongest countries in the world, and it's a one-party system. We are not saying we are working for a one-party system, but if it is the wish of the Nigerian people, we cannot quarrel that. They say too many cooks spoil the soup. Too many political parties spoil governance. Wow. Of course, if PDP was not going to take that line alone. So I think the spokesperson, chairman, the national chairman, Umar Damagum, yesterday lashed out at Ganduje on his position. He described the idea of a single state as madness. He said one-party system can only happen somewhere else, not in this country. Recall that history says about anybody wishing for one-party state, there will be, where will such will end? He said the PDP, the party in power before the emergence of APC, passed through that route some time ago, deluding themselves that they would be in control of levelers of power forever, but that fell on their faces. So he acknowledges the time when when there was a lot of possibility of a one-party system. Anyway, the point is, it's gaining ground, and we'll see what happens going forward.
Yeah. So world leaders and stakeholders in the solid minerals industry have been asked to embrace global collaboration in driving a sustainable energy transition. The Solid Minerals Development Minister, Dr. Dele Alake, made the request and noted that the future of electricity, transportation, and global prosperity hinges on decisions that were made, yesterday. So he spoke at an ongoing Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development Forum in Paris. That happened, and he said that that's through his special assistant on media, Shegu Tomori, in Abuja yesterday, who quoted the minister, stressing the importance of global partnerships in building a resilient and sustainable mining sector. He made a statement, and I quote, he said, with the emergence of the global energy transition, there has never been a more critical moment for decisive leadership. The future of electricity, transportation, telecommunications, and indeed global prosperity depends on the work that we do here. Let us embrace this opportunity, not just to discuss change, but to drive it. So they went ahead to highlight the critical role of mining in the global shift towards greener energy, and he emphasized the need for a smarter site selection, optimized operations, sustainable processing, waste management, and environmental stewardship as a responsibility owed to future generations, not just policy aspiration. So he outlined the proactive measures that Nigeria has already taken to attract investment into the solid mineral sector. And he says that they are citing investor-friendly incentives, such as import duty waivers, accelerated capital allowances, and tax holidays. He said these are some of the incentives that they have implemented alongside the robust reforms that they have to prioritize sustainable attraction, domestic processing, and enhanced infrastructure connectivity. So the government, on one hand, is doing all that it can to ensure that investors are coming into the mining sector, because we need to move the country forward.
Okay, moving on now to the Punch. Rivers emergency rule, FG taps ex-AGF, 11 sands as Supreme Court battle looms. Aye Datiwa Makinde Bamidele salute Aye Afenifere leader Fashion Roti at 99. FG states add 57 trillion naira to debt in 18 months. NCAA under fire after plane strikes antelope on taxiway. I am not desperate to return as Rivers governor, says Fubara. FG makes U-turn, endorses Senate Security Summit. And why Jonathan won't run against Tinubu in 2027, says Patience Jonathan. Okay, let's take one story for the break.
Okay, the Minister of Defense, Abubakar Bajaru, on Sunday has reversed his earlier stance and pledged full support for National Security Summit that's been organized by the National Assembly. He says that he describes it as being a timely initiative to tackle Nigeria's growing security concerns, and also expressed his commitment to participate in the two-day event and ensure its outcome translate into concrete action. So the minister's position, they say, it's a departure from his remarks on Wednesday during an interministerial briefing where he had suggested that developing a security strategy would be more effective than convening a summit. He had deferred with the House of Reps over its claims that insurgents possess more sophisticated weaponry than the military. But the Senate reacted to his comments on Thursday. They berated the minister for dismissing the proposed summit, warning him to refrain from making statements capable of sparking tension between executive and legislative arms of government. And so while he was in Abuja on Sunday, he sort of rescinded on his earlier position on the proposed summit. He acknowledged the importance of dialogue and inclusive policy making, stressing that the real impact lies in turning discussions into strategic reforms. When you hold a summit, you hear people speak, gather perspective, and take those insights back to review and strengthen our strategy, which is translated into action. So he also commended the National Assembly efforts, pledging to play an active role in the summit and champion the implementation of its recommendation.
Okay, let's go on a very short break now. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.